I'm just getting ready to mark up one of my charts, and I thought I should record it so you guys can see what I do. I do a top-down analysis just so I can have a bird's eye view of what's going on in the market. I think it's very critical and important to do that so you can know like how far you can take a trade and which direction overall the market is going into. So I pulled up the Australian dollar versus a Canadian dollar. I'm on the monthly chart, and I've saved each of the time frames that I look at frequently right here to the top so I can easily access them. So what I'm going to do is go over here to my horizontal ray, and I am looking right now at a level. I'm on the monthly chart, and what I do is just try to go in and find the highest and lowest points for each most recent time period. And so obviously right here is the most recent swing high, right? So I'm going to go ahead and drop a line on that, and I will call this my long-term resistance. And I've saved templates so that I don't have to go in each time and type it, because I do go through quite a few pairs every week. And this is my obvious low. So I'm going to go ahead and put that as my long-term support. And then I'm just noticing right now, this is a level 2. As you can see, like price is just sitting here, and we see back here it respected this level, it came and sat, it didn't break through. So this is the area that I would note. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop a line here too, and we'll leave that green. All right, so I'm going to go down to my weekly, and I know when I first started, like I would hear everybody say, look left, look left, look left. Like, what in the world are you talking about? What do you mean, look left? Looking left will tell you the story of what's happening with the trade, and like key areas you need to pay attention to. So like if we look left where this red line is, where price currently is, like we see price came and sat here and reacted to that level, and it went the opposite direction. Then it came down and it broke this level. And then we see it came back up and tested this level. And then if we look back here, we see price testing this level, testing this level, testing this level, and over here, testing again, right? And so if we kept going back, we'd be able to see the same thing. Price came down and tested here, tried to break through here and couldn't, right? And so then it went back down. So I'm going to go ahead, and now what am I on? The weekly. So I'm identifying the next obvious level, and I'm going to mark, and I'm looking for swing high, swing low, right? And so I'm going to mark so I can remember why I chose that level. So this right here looks like a level of support for this area right here. So I'm going to change this, and I have different colors for for each of the time frames, so I can remember and know what time frame I'm in. And so this right here looks like it went all the way up, and we found rejection, and then it started something new. So I'm going to mark this area right here as weekly support. All right, and so I'm going to draw down to my next level, and I'm on the daily. And so I'm looking again for that next key level. And I'm going to pick this area because if I look, I'm just going to put a horizontal line on it so you can see what I'm seeing. So I chose this area because price is like kind of sitting here, right? And then it actually tested this area but still reacted and went up. If I look left, price came down, touched this area, and reacted. If I come over here, I know eventually I'll find somewhere where price reacted to this level again. See, price came through here, reacted, went up, tried to break through, but it didn't. But then it reacted again. And remember, like, price doesn't come to a specific line, it comes to a zone. So this is a key zone I need to pay attention to. Price tested this area and reacted and went up. Same thing here. Price tested and went down. Price actually broke through, came back, retested, and went further down. So I'm going to mark this as a daily area. And what I try to look for is, I try to find at least 3 touches in order to solidify that as an area, right? What am I looking for? Daily resistance. Okay. And which is now support, but okay. And actually, I might even call this, and I might go lower. I'm going to call this, yeah, I'll call it daily, because I'm going to be trading on a shorter time frame, so I need to go lower. Even lower. So I'm on my 4 hour, and now I'm looking for my next level. And actually, I'm going to move this up, and I'm going to call that 4 hour, because this is swing high, swing low, retest, and then down. And we still see that this blue area is an area. So I'm going to pick this area as my 4 hour resistance. And then I got to find my 4 hour support. And so I'm more inclined to pick this area, because if I look right here, if I sit 4 hour, if I sit this here and you look left, like price reacts to this area. Look here. It came down, tested, and shot up. Then it tried to retest again and still went back up. Then eventually it broke through and broke down all the way down, and it broke through here, retested, and then retested again. So I'm going to use that as 4 hour support. Now I'm going to go down to my 1 hour, and actually no, I'm going to leave this as is. Yeah. All right, and so now I'm going to go to my higher time frame and just draw my my trend lines, and I'm going to start from swing high, swing low. So this was the last high, then low, high, high, then low, high, and this is far enough back. That's back in like okay. And I make this really light because I don't like a messy chart at all. And I don't need a whole bunch of Christmas lights on my chart. So I'm going to go down and see how price tested the backside of this trend line and then went up. And so now I'm going to draw a new trend line from this area. And I do it from, I do the ray because it's just easier for me to make sure that I'm not cutting through candles and trying to determine the position, I mean the direction. So I take it out and then I take it down until it touches the next candle. So I like to think of it as like a tabletop. So when you have a tabletop, you can't put the top and go through the legs, like it sits right on top. So I have found that I'm on the daily, and then I got to do my counter because the trend has been up. And so my next touch is here, and I've got different colors for each of the things, and I really love the templates. It saves a lot of time, and so I'm going to make the opacity really light on that one too. Like I can still see it, but it's not distracting, right? And so on this one, this is my next touch, and price is starting to break through here, right? So now I'm going to go down, and actually, let me just look. So this is a whole, like, this is a swing high. So I'm just going to look at on my Fibonacci retracement tool to see if any of my levels I've identified correspond with the levels that the fib identifies. And it does. We have zones. This is a wave up. So I'm gonna mark out my key levels that I'm really looking for are right here in red, 38.2, 50%, and 61.8. So I'm gonna draw zones in those areas between the fib level and the area that I identified. I'm just going to add a 0. I'm going to change the color to match like the time zone that it's in. And I've saved templates for this. So when I look at the chart, I know like where price is approaching, and it gives me an idea of how far price will travel. Okay, so that's my 38.2. And then I'm going to do one for my 4-hour. I really like TradingView. And it makes, like, when you save these templates, it makes it really easy to get through the charts. And I'm going to double click that and turn it to 4-hour zone. Like I said, I'm really big on this color coding. And then I'm going to draw my 68.1 area. And I just copy and paste it because I don't want to have to keep going back and draw. And I'm going to make this one a little smaller just to fit that area. Now, that's a little tight, but if price comes in between that area, like, I know what's up. All right. So again, this was the move up. This is the dominant move up. And so I know price has to come back at least to a 38.2 level. Typically, it can stop at the 23.6 and then it'll go for a shallow drive up, but it can come back to, I want it to come back to the 38.2 level or the 61.8 level, and then I'll prepare for buys. Because let's see. Yeah, then I'll prepare for buys. So this has been in an uptrend, and now it's about to start to retrace. Price is starting to break down. So I'm gonna get my fib out of here. Uh-oh, what did I do? You know, I don't like no messy chart. And that's part of the reason that I've turned all the candles the same color, because I'm looking at price action, right? I'm not looking at the colors of the candles. So when I'm like helping people, a lot of people as new traders get stuck on the colors. And so if we turn them all the same color, like, you really don't have a lot you can pay attention to. You just look at how the candle has formed, if it has wicks, if, you know, it's moving down or up, and that'll tell you like everything you need to know. And I didn't draw a zone for my resistance, long-term resistance. So I'm just going to go, actually, I'm going to move this up. And then I'm going to draw the zone from the top of the wick to the top of the body of the candle. And we're going to change this to our long-term zone and add a 0. Okay. And let me go down to my 4-hour. So price has broken through this this trend line. And so we're sitting at a level right now. Okay, so price is at a level right now. So I am gonna go ahead and box out this area because it's been consolidating for a while. And ideally, what I want to see is I want to see price break out of this area, right? I want to see it drop through, and then I want to see it retest, and then I want to see it drop off. So for me to figure out how far I think price will travel, I'm going to measure from the swing high to the swing low. And if you see, we're at the weekly resistance level and we're at the 1.618 extension area. And we see price, the high to the low, and it looks like price retraced back to that 61.8 fib level. And guys, this is like preschool, color to color. If we hit any of the red areas for the retracement, theoretically, price should travel to the extension, that 1.618 extension, right? So that's our confluence. And it's the weekly area. So if we look left, we see that this zone makes sense. Like, look, right here, price dropped off, and then it flew up from that zone. And then, as my cousin likes to say, if we continue to look left, there's a lot of action happening in this area. So I feel comfortable going ahead and marking this as my my take profit zone. And I got a template saved for that too. I'm telling you guys, templates are the best, the absolute best. All right, so that's going to be my first take profit. And I'm going to get rid of the fib, and I'm going to finish drawing out my projection. So I'm just going to put the other arrow on here, and then I am going to circle my entry so that when I come back here, I know what it is. And I forgot to put in my entry area. So I'm just highlighting that. When I come back, I know. And I don't like a crazy looking chart. I like things in order. So I'm getting it right there. But you see this trend line? I might have made it too light. I'll probably have to make it darker next time. I anticipate price is going to come back to that level and retrace it too. See right there? It did it. It dropped and then it went up. And then, yeah. So I'm going to put this as another zone. Copy it. And then paste it. And that'll be like my TP2. Right? And so if I'm twin trading this, this is what I'm a visual person, so I got to see. I'm drawing the breakthrough, the retest, and then the continuation down to TP2. And I'm going to move this over just a little bit. And then, oh yeah, well, I'm moving it over to show that trend line, but I don't like it that far. So I'm going to put it back right where it was. And that's the daily resistance area or zone. That makes sense to me. Because if price breaks through that weekly resistance, which is really going to be, I want it to become resistance. Right now is support. But I want it to break through that area is going to the next level, which is a daily. And then honestly and truthfully, that 61.8 on the move up is at that 4-hour level. So I am going to draw the same thing. It's real simple, guys. Like you're looking for breaks through key levels, a retest, and then you enter on that retest. So I'm just drawing this down to that retest area. I don't like no crazy looking chart, so let me line these lines up right. And so I'll put this as a third take profit. Like I'm not saying like price will definitely come to this area. I just want to note it for myself that it could travel that far. So right now I'm just putting circles around my entry points. And I don't know that I would enter at this lower level. Ideally, I want to be up higher at the top. But I just visualize or what I want to see before entering a trade. So I just copied my take profit zone and I'm putting it at the 4-hour level as well. And right now I'm just going to use a call out to label it what it is. That is the take profit 3 zone. Save. And then that's the take profit 2 zone. And then I'm going to label the last one. The last one, which is take profit 1. So, and save. And let's just measure these pips. That one looks like it's about 240, 230. We'll call it 230.6. And then we're going to measure that other take profit, the second take profit. That one is about 350, 340. And then the last one, if we are ever so blessed, that zone is over 400 pips, right? So you could essentially take like 3 trades and put them all at different take profits and let them ride out, right? So this makes sense to me. This makes sense. I hope this made sense for you guys too. Now I got my areas identified, my entry, my exit points. I know how many pips I can potentially make, and I think I'm good. All right, so I'm just going to see where I would put my stop loss. If I'm being real aggressive, I would put my stop loss very close. I think that's about 20 pips. If I want to give the trade room to breathe, I'm going to put it up higher. So, I mean, realistically, I could probably do both. My position size would change based on where I decided to put that stop loss, but I can do it either or, right? And so I'm going to go on ahead and head over to the risk calculator to figure out what type of lot sizes I can take on this one. All right, let me clear this out. So I just went over to my risk calculator, and I'm going to just see based off the setups that that we marked up what size lot size I can take on it. Put in my account size. We were looking at AUDCAD. Let's say I only want to risk 0.25% on the account. And we said 63 pips was the stop loss. I'm going to just do 65 to give myself just a little extra room. And I'm only taking one position on this. So based off this setup, this calculator is telling me in order to lose just $125, the maximum position size I can take for this trade is $2.62 per pip. Now, if I up this and I said, okay, this is the only trade I'm doing for the week because it's going to travel pretty far, I'm going to go ahead and go big boy with it, right? So 1%. I'm going to risk $500, 1% of my account. And the maximum position size I can take would be $10.47 per pip, right? And so this just tells me, like you see how this flashed from, I think it said don't take trade or something like that. So that's telling me that the trade is good. I can take it. I'm going to put in my account size. We are looking at the AUDCAD. We said 65 pip stop loss. And we know, based off that first setup, we were looking at 230.6 pips, which, if I followed this rule and I only wanted to risk 0.25% of my account, I would stand to make $443.46. Now, let's change this to if we did a 30 pip stop loss. So remember, we talked about going to the last high or just above where that retest is on AUDCAD. And so if I make my stop loss 30 pips, and let's say I'm going to go big boy on it. I'm going to say this is the only trade I'm taking for the week. I'm going to go ahead and risk 25%, or I'm sorry, not 25% of my account. I'm going to risk 1% of the account. Only trade I'm taking this week. I know it's going to go, like, put all my eggs in one basket. I typically don't do this, but whatever. So, we see that we only stand to lose $500, 1% of the account, And my maximum earning potential, if this trade carries out to the 230.6 pips, is going to be $3,843.33. Now, we had a second target for take profit too, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. That was 347.5 pips. And I'm risking $500 to make $5,791.67. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to put both setups in here. We said 65 for the first, and the profit was 230.6. All right. $10.47 for this trade to make $1,773 on this. If I change this and I say I only want to risk, let's just say 1.5%. And actually, since I know I'm going to be putting in 2 trades, I'm only going to do 0.25%. So AUDCAD sell, let's say we got 30 pips on that second position. We put in a tighter stop loss, and we're going to 347.5 pips. So my total account loss is 1.5%. I'm risking 1.5% to make $5,674.13. And I am only, this is $24 a pip. This is, I'm pretty confident in AUDCAD this week. Like, this makes sense to me, right? So, just showing you how to work the calculator. You see the risk to reward over here for this setup is like 3.5, which is okay, right? This one is a whole lot better. It's 11-1 basically that you would be making on this trade. This makes sense all day. Like, if you can't tell, I'm a swing trader. Like, you may have to adjust the risk to reward conditions in order to get it how you want it. But for me, I like longer term trades. I am still working a regular job, so I like long setups so I don't have to keep going in and out of the market. Even if I wasn't working a regular job, I don't think I'd like to be hopping back in and out. So this is good. This is real good. So I hope this made sense for you guys. If you want to use the risk calculator, it is located in the link below. You can download it. And if you like this video and if you found it helpful, let me know. If you think there are things that I should explain better, let me know that too. And I hope you guys have a very profitable